Good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, August 23rd. I will call the meeting to order and ask if you'll stand and join us in O Canada, please. Thank you. Today and tomorrow mark important days on the Ukrainian calendar. In Ukraine, August 23rd is the day of the Ukrainian flag, and August 24th is the Ukrainian Independence Day. As a show of support, the City of Kawartha Lakes hosted the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress for a flag-raising ceremony this morning. Tonight, the lights of City Hall will be changed to yellow and blue to honor the people of Ukraine as they continue to resist Russia's unlawful occupation of their country. To our local Ukrainian Canadians and to all Ukrainians around the world, we stand by you in your continued fight for freedom. Please join me in a moment of silence, and I ask that you hold in your thoughts all the people impacted by the global conflict in Ukraine. Thank you. Item 2.3 is the adoption of the open session. Deputy Mayor Richardson, I believe you have that. Go ahead.
I do, and through you, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Vail, that the agenda for the open session of the regular council meeting on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022 be adopted as circulated with the following amendments. Addition item 11.1.15 report CA 2022-010 funding agreement for the Connecting Links program.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? That is passed. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in anything on today's agenda? Seeing none. Notices and information by members of council. Anyone on council have anything they'd like to? Councillor Helmsley, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Labor Day is coming up, and in Fenelon Falls, Labor Day means the annual art show. It's kind of get ready for Christmas, and if people are looking for special Christmas gifts, it's an ideal location to come and spend a nice day on Labor Day weekend, see a lot of fine art, and help the economy by doing your pre-Christmas shopping. So, Fenelon Falls Fairgrounds, Labor Day weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Richardson.
Thank you, and through you, I just want to give two shout outs for two amazing community events that we've just housed down in the Manvers area. First being the Bethany Athletic Society running a show and shine and a dance, raising all amazing money for the park for amenities and local upgrades. And the other this past weekend in Pontypool, the show and shine and Art in the Park, we raised $15,000, all going to our local food bank, our Pontypool Community Center, and our Pontypool Park. So I want to thank everybody that was involved. It was a great event.
Thank you. Councillor Ashmore, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 5 announcements. The first one is the Humane Society of Kawartha Lakes has started with a honey fund, and honey fund is for surgeries for small animals where their owners cannot afford surgeries for them. And this was a new endeavor that the Humane Society of Kawartha Lakes has created, and Vanessa Murphy, want to thank Vanessa Murphy from Bounce Radio for having a member of the Humane Society come on. So they're also always looking for donations to the Humane Society. Last Sunday, I attended the Pleasant Point Union Church in Pleasant Point, and I commemorated on behalf of council a certificate commemorating their 100th anniversary. So it was an amazing church that they have there, and certainly a focal point for their community there. This coming Sunday, I'll be attending the Omemee Legion. They are having their grand opening of their new patio facility at 46 King Street East, Omemee. They're looking forward to this opportunity to introduce the patio to the public and press, and to publicly thank the Ontario Trillium Foundation for their generous grant, which was given such a wonderful new facility for the Legion and the community. The event will be starting at 1 to 4. Opening remarks by Bill McQuaid, Legion President, and ribbon cutting ceremony featuring John Sadler, World War II veteran and Omemee resident. This past Sunday, I attended the Milken Training Center in Minden Hills, Haliburton, and first of all, the owners, Linda and Keith of the Milken Training Center, they're popular guest lecturers and speakers providing seminars and courses to police, military, and civilian marksmen here in Canada and internationally. I'd like to thank our MP, Jamie Schmale, and also our former MP, Barry DeVolen, who started this yearly event. And also, I'd like to recognize a father and son team, Steve and Ryan Dobbs from east of Lindsay, residents of Ward 6, and their world champion shooting marksman team, and they're just an incredible team, and I'd like to congratulate them, and they do a great job, and they did a demonstration for us there, which was excellent. Finally, I'd like to recognize a former member of council here who passed away last month, Sandra Jack. She passed away in July after a long illness. Sandra was a former councillor for the town of Lindsay, and also a councillor for former Ward 12, which is southeast Lindsay and part of Ops Township. She represented that area, her constituents, from the year 2000 to the year 2006. She was a vice principal of I.E. Weldon Secondary School as well. Before that, she was a teacher at LCVI. So condolences to her family. She did a lot of work for her community. I just want to recognize Sandra Jack. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tomorrow's Emergency Services Golf Tournament at the Lindsay Golf and Country Club, beginning at 12 o'clock, and I think we have a sold-out day for it, and members of the community will be golfing it tomorrow. Coming up is the Lindsay Fair. They're having it on 2 different weekends, September 17th and 18th, opening weekend, and that'll be free admission for everybody, and they have the dairy show and the cattle show and the goat show, and also the heavy horses will be there, the 6-horse hitches and the 4-horse hitches. And then the following week starts on Wednesday the 21st, that's the opening ceremony, and Midway and the vendors will all be there, and then I think and then the musical ride is coming back in this year, and it'll be on Saturday and Sunday the 24th and the 25th.
Thank you. Councillor Seymour Fagan.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody that the farmers market have a full bounty right now, and I've been at some of the farmers markets in the last little bit, and they're going home with stuff. So I think it's really important that people get out there and support our local farmers, because they've had a lot of price increases as well. It's better that we get it from the local and the people that we know. And this weekend in Bobcaygeon at El Patio, it is my place, but I just want to let everybody know that we're having our 2nd annual fundraiser for PTSD service dogs for first responders and veterans. Last year we raised over $7,000 to award a dog with Searchlight service dogs. So that's Saturday, and there's silent auctions and all sorts of things going on. So thank you.
Thank you. I've got a couple of, none other from council. I've got a couple of announcements. Last weekend, we attended Councillor Dunn, Seymour Fagan, and O'Reilly. CAO Taylor and myself attended AMO conference in Ottawa. The EOWC, Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, did a presentation to Minister Clark, delegation regarding the housing as a top priority for Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. They're going to put together a plan for the Roma conference in January, do some work behind the scenes, and the minister was quite interested in working with the EOWC on that. CAO Taylor and I had a couple of delegations individually, one with the MTO regarding direction from Councillor Yeo, ATVs on provincial right-of-ways. So we had a good chat with Minister Mulroney about creating a few areas in the city where we're opening up the road access and where we have bridges where we're required to go on to provincial property or right-of-ways. Would the province be open to us being able to do that, mainly in the Cobeconk, Norwood, Rosedale, and Omemee area? And they were quite open to the conversation and offered to send up some staff to meet with our staff to sort of go over some of the areas that would be done as secure locations. So we'll work through on that. The other meeting we had was with Minister Sarkaria, who is the Treasury Secretary. And we had a good discussion about state of emergencies. Seems to be a lot of confusion around state of emergencies with different municipalities. So we wanted to get some direction and offer some thoughts. State of emergencies that some municipalities are declaring when we have a windstorm are completely, according to the minister, out of line. The funding for ODRAP that residents qualify for has nothing to do with the state of emergency in the municipality. They qualify for that on their own. We've had several neighboring municipalities that have declared state of emergencies and mentioned to their residents we did that so that our residents would qualify for provincial funding. Completely false. One is not tied into the other one whatsoever. And that was really what our discussion was based on, is the confusion among residents and confusion among some municipal councillors and specifically mayors. So rather than go on about that I'm right and they were wrong, we've asked the minister to, with the new council coming in, a great opportunity to educate incoming mayors, educate the public, and the stress from their point of view being on it's the individual homeowner's responsibility to make sure they have the proper insurance for coverage on their property, and the provincial money will not top that up. So it was a good discussion, and they're going to put together a bit of a program, I think, to help educate everybody in the near future with the elections coming up. That's all I have. Staff, Kathy Ritchie, you've got an announcement you would like to make about the upcoming election. Go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Just an update on where we're at as far as the municipal elections. Nomination day, of course, closed 2 p.m. on Friday. All candidates for the 2022 City of Kawartha Lakes election have been certified, and a complete list has been posted on the city's website. It has been determined that the new council will consist of less than 3/4 of members of the outgoing council. Therefore, the restricted acts are in effect. To recap, the restrictions as follows: the appointment or removal from office of any officer of the municipality, including an integrity commissioner. The disposition of any real or personal property of the municipality which has a value exceeding $50,000 at the time of disposal, and making any expenditures or incurring any other liability which exceeds $50,000. There are exceptions. The disposition or liability which was included in the most recent budget adopted by council before nomination day in the election year and during an emergency. So nothing in this section prevents a municipality taking any action in the event of an emergency. The delegated authority has been given to the Chief Administrative Officer. The Municipal Act permits the delegated authority to the person or body prior to nomination day for the election of the new council. Bylaw 2022-019 was adopted by Council to delegate the authority for decisions to the Chief Administrative Officer for the restricted acts after nomination day. The bylaw will cover instances where current delegated authority does not exist and to ensure that services continue to residents in an uninterrupted fashion. A report to the new council shall be provided by the Chief Administrative Officer, identifying all decisions made that were subject to the delegated authority period, which ends following the inaugural meeting of the new council, which is November 15th. The existing policy to delegate council powers and duties currently gives the CEO delegated authority for hiring or dismissal of any employees of the municipality, which is one of the restricted acts. Regarding the Integrity Commissioner, in a municipal election year starting on nomination day and ending on voting day, which is October 24th, the Integrity Commissioner shall not report to the city about whether or not a member contravenes the Code of Conduct. This includes requests that were submitted prior to nomination day where the investigation and determination has not been completed by the IC. Those requests will be terminated until after election day, and those requests may be resubmitted if they're still relevant. And as far as the election update, other than the French Separate School Board, where the candidate was acclaimed, there are races in all 8 wards, including the mayor. A complete list of certified candidates can be found on the election page of the city's website. Election information, whether it's for voters or candidates, is posted and kept current on the city's website, including relevant bylaws. For example, election sign bylaws, corporate resources, the use of corporate resources, etc. Printed copies of the voters list will be available on September 1st for the public to view at municipal service centers and libraries, and for all candidates who requested a copy. Or you could go online to the city's website under the voter information, and the link is provided to check to see if you're on the voters list. It's not too late to be added. Voter pin letters will be mailed 10 days prior to the first day of voting. If a letter is not received, there is time right up to voting day to obtain a pin letter to be able to vote. Voting starts 9 a.m. October 14th and ends 8 p.m. October 24th.
Thank you. CEO Taylor, go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, and through you, I want to thank you for the opportunity to announce and provide best wishes and congratulations to Rod Sutherland, our Director of Human Services, who is retiring at the end of this month. I believe he's joining us via Zoom. Rod has worn many hats within the Human Services portfolio, most recently serving as the Director since 2014. Rod's subtle, stable, and steady leadership has served this community extremely well. And he has successfully built, supported, and empowered a great leadership team there to manage and implement those complex portfolios that fall within human services. In particular, as director, he's navigated this pandemic, supported Victoria Manor, participated in social assistance modernization and transformation, affordable housing and homelessness programs, childcare funding and supports. The latter as our municipal service manager, not just for Kawartha Lakes, but also Haliburton County. So an absolute transformation in all of the various portfolios in human services. Rod, on behalf of the city, I want to thank you for your contributions and service to the community. We will certainly miss you, and I do encourage all of you to catch up with Rod, wish him best in his retirement. His last day with us is next Friday, September 2nd. And thanks very much, Rod.
Now, all the best, Rod. Thank you. Okay, item 5 is council minutes. I need a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on July 19th, 2022 be adopted as circulated, please. Councillor Dunn, seconded by Councillor Helmsley. All in favor? That's passed. We have no deputations today, no correspondence. We have a petition 8.1 is a petition regarding the opposition to the Kings Bay development along the Nonquan River related to item 10.3.1 on the agenda from Rosa Bryan. 10.3.1 on the agenda is a referral back to staff to deal with some of the issues, so I would suggest we receive the petition and refer it to the planning process. Can I get a motion for that? Councillor Vail, second by Deputy Mayor Richardson. All in favor? That's passed. Thank you. We have no presentations. Planning Advisory Committee. We have 3 reports on the Planning Advisory. Is there any extractions, questions on that? Oh, hold on. I'm going to get in trouble here. There's no correspondence for the Planning Advisory Committee. And I need a motion then that the minutes of the August 10th, 2022 Planning Advisory Committee meeting be received and the recommendations included in section 10.3 of the agenda be adopted, please. Councillor Vail, second by Councillor Seymour Fagan. Questions? All in favor? That's passed. Consent agenda. You're going too fast for me here. Consent agenda, we have a couple of extractions. I have 11.15, the request for a left turn lane on Pigeon Lake Road at Lakeview Estates, and 11.18, the request for a street light at entrance at Huron's Landing, Creekside Circle, and Cedar Glen. Both have been extracted by Councillor Ashmore. Any other extractions for the consent agenda? Seeing none, Councillor Vail, go ahead.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Richardson, that all the proposed resolutions shown in section 11.1 of the agenda be approved and adopted by council in the order that they appear on the agenda and subsequently numbered, save and accept items 11.1.5 and 11.1.8.
Thank you. All in favor? That's passed. 11.1.5, report engineering 2022-027. Councillor Ashmore, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would move to receive it first, and I just had a few comments and just a follow-up motion after that.
Okay, motion to receive by Councillor Ashmore, second by Councillor Dunn. All in favor? That's passed. Do you have a follow-up?
Yes, please. I talked to Joseph Kelly, our engineering technician, and at length, and he got back to me. We've been working together. I realized that the warrants aren't there to get this lane. The turning lane that we're referring to is coming from Bobcaygeon, coming from the north, turning left at Lakeview Estates. Lakeview Estates is a 50-year-old community that's been there for many years. Plus, there's a new subdivision being built right beside it, which will add another 22 homes. The reason is the people were asking for a left turning lane. They do have a right turning lane, which the developer did put in, which was great. That I'm just wondering, perhaps all I'm asking for is that, and I discussed this with Mr. Kelly, that staff look at the subdivision agreement. This doesn't have to be done right now, but in the next quarter or whatever, 2 quarters, and look at the traffic impact study of that and in the future, because there's a little bit more there that maybe needs to be researched just to clarify as to whether that turning lane is required by the actual subdivision agreement that's going on right now with the new Kings Wharf Estates subdivision. That's going to add to the traffic, so I was just seeing if we can get staff to contact the developer.
They've probably done one. Richard's with us, the Director of Development Services. I would assume as part of the subdivision agreement, Richard, that they would have done a traffic study, and the study, again, didn't warrant the left turn lane. Can you confirm?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I can confirm, actually, there was no traffic study required at the time. And so the developer did not do a traffic study. They weren't required to do one through pre-consultation. Presumably it was felt at the time with the traffic levels there that a traffic study wasn't warranted. The issue of right turn lanes came up at a public meeting. And so a right turn lane was required and was part of the subdivision agreement, but a left-hand turn lane coming from the southbound, say from Bobcaygeon, was not a requirement at the time.
Thank you. So what are you asking for then, Councillor?
Well, I realize that presently it doesn't meet the warrants, but I'm just looking into the future, so.
Do you want to pass a motion? Do you suggest a motion maybe that this traffic study be done again, or this warrants be done again after the subdivision is built out? And then if staff can do another warrant when it's built out and come back and see what the results are at that time?
That'd be good.
Is
Thanks.
that okay?
Yep.
Does that get what you need?
That's fine.
You'll move that. A seconder? Councillor Dunn? Any questions? All in favor? That's passed. Okay. 1117, 1118 was your other extraction, request for streetlight at entrance at Huron's Landing, Creekside Circle, and Cedar Glen Road. Go ahead.
Thanks. Just to begin with, I just wanted to correct the name. It's Heron's Landing, heron like the bird, not Huron's Landing, like Lake Huron. It's kind of important, but I know it's just a typo there. But so it's Heron's Landing. It's a year-round community, about 65 homes owned by Park Bridge, and the leaseholders lease each particular site. It's a four-season community. I also talked to Mr. Kelly about this, and it doesn't meet the warrants. But just wondering if staff could maybe communicate with Park Bridge, the owner of the land, and sort of explain to them like how maybe they could install one. If you go down further, there's another community called Glenway Village, and it's owned by a company called Caprite, and they have a private lamp there. So I think all I was asking for, receive this, correct the name of the name, please, to Heron's Landing, and that staff engage in some sort of discussion just to tell them what the criteria is, or, you know, because the other community has one and they don't, but maybe they just don't know what the rules are at present.
So that the request for streetlight at entrance to Heron's Landing, Creekside Circle, and Cedar Glen Road be received, and that staff reach out to the developer, just to what? To ask them to put in a streetlight?
Yeah, just the owner, I guess.
The
It's
owner.
already been developed, so the owner to Park Bridge to give them the policy, to explain to them what.
And see if they'll put a streetlight up.
That's right.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Ashmore, second. Councillor Yeo. Any questions? Councillor Riley?
Oh, just a clarification, is it our responsibility to ask our staff to talk to the owners to do this? Why wouldn't, the warrants didn't justify it? So I'm just kind of wondering if the residents or the local councillor wants to go and talk to and see if they can do it, but I don't know that it's our responsibility of our staff to be dealing with the developer on a streetlight. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Any other comments? Do you want to sum up, or?
Fine, thanks. I mean, I'm not qualified as much as staff are here to just go in there and lay it all out and just explain to them. So I think it'd be best if the city could go in instead of myself. So, I mean, I don't mind going in, but I mean, I would rather that they're 100% up on all the criteria and everything, so it's best that they do it.
Okay, you got a motion on the floor. I'll call the question then. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion fails. How about just a motion to receive then? Will you move that? Councillor Ashmore, second by Councillor Yeo. All in favor? And that's passed. Thank you. Okay, we'll go over to bylaws. Any extractions from bylaws? Councillor Riley, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Richardson, that the bylaws show on sections 13.1 of the agenda, namely items 13.1.1 and including 13.1.6, to be read first, second, and third time, numbered, signed, and the corporate seal attached.
Thank you. All in favor? That's passed. We have no notice of motion. We're now going to go into closed session. We have an adoption. Can I get a motion for the adoption of the closed session agenda, please? Councillor Elmsley and Councillor Dunn. All in favor? That's passed. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest in closed session? Seeing none, at this point in the meeting, City Council will go into closed session to consider the item under Section 15.3 of the agenda. All remaining staff, with the exception of the CAO, City Clerk, City Solicitor, unless you have an item on the agenda, are now instructed to leave the electronic meeting at this time, please. As per our procedural bylaw requirements, I'm asking all remaining participants in our meeting today online to confirm to me by raising their hands that they are in a private room. There's Robin. Is there anybody else zooming in for closed? Okay, so just Robin. No other person can overhear the deliberations, Robin? And the internet connection is secure and not publicly accessible? Our solicitor has confirmed that. Thank you. Can I get a mover and a seconder for the following motion, that council convene into closed session at 1:30 p.m. pursuant to section 239.2 of the Municipal Act in order to consider matters identified in section 15.3 of the regular council meeting agenda of Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, namely item 15.3.1.2 and including 15.3.5. Can I get a mover? Councillor Yeo, second by Councillor Ashmore. All in favor? That's passed. At this point, the meeting broadcast will now end for members of the public watching on Cogeco and YouTube. The live stream of the meeting on YouTube will now be temporarily paused for members of the public. When closed session is complete, the live stream of the meeting will resume to address the remaining open session items on the agenda. So we'll take a couple of minutes till we get confirmation it's all off. Okay, we're out of closed session.
Minutes, the confidential closed minutes from July 19th, 2022, regular council meeting were approved. A motion is required for item 15.3.2, that the following individuals be appointed to the Municipal Elections Compliance Audit Committee for 2022-2026 term. Greer Thornbury, June Wittes, and Patricia Wakeland.
Yep, can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Elmsley, Councillor Vale, all in favor? And that's passed.
Item 15.3.3, Council received a litigation update on City of Kawartha Lakes and Firma Aggregates, Inc. Item 15.3.4, Council received an update on Flato Lindsay Community Inc., Bromont Homes Inc., and Melody Homes Inc. in relation to ministerial zoning orders. And then item 15.3.5, Council received an update on the paramedic service structure.
That's it, thank you. Item 17.1 is a bylaw that we have to move. I have 3 motions that are required. A bylaw to appoint members to and adopt terms of reference for the City of Kawartha Lakes Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee. A motion is required that a bylaw to appoint members to and adopt terms of reference for the City of Kawartha Lakes Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee be read a first and second time. Councillor Yeo, Councillor Elmsley, all in favor? That's passed. That the following names be added to section 2.01 of the bylaw as appointees to the City of Kawartha Lakes Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee for the term of 2022-2026. Patricia Wakeland, Greer Thornbury, and June Wittes. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Vale, Councillor Yeo, all in favor? That's passed. And that a bylaw to appoint members to and adopt terms of reference for the City of Kawartha Lakes Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee as amended be read a third time, passed, numbered, signed, and the corporate seal attached. Moved by Councillor Dunn, second by Councillor Elmsley. All in favor? And that's passed. Thank you. Confirming bylaw, Councillor Yeo.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Dunn, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of a regular council meeting held Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022 be read a first, second, third time, passed, numbered, signed, and the corporate seal attached.
Thank you. All in favor? That's passed. And our next meeting is September 27th, and we'll start at 10 a.m. And our last item is a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Yeo is always way out in front of that one. Second by Councillor Elmsley. All in favor? And that is passed. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer.